First Coast News begins with breaking news.
It had ignited real fast. You can hear the bridge popping apart.
I ended up just growing and growing. We saw the smoke billowing over this building right here towards us.
And we start tonight with that breaking news out of Atlanta. Georgia Governor Nathan Deal has declared a state of emergency. A massive fire caused part of Interstate 85 to collapse during rush hour, sprawling traffic for hours. At one point, there was a 40-foot wall of flames underneath the highway, and power lines even seen falling into the streets.
That elevated span of highway, which is a few miles north of downtown, collapsed about 7 p.m. And at this hour, the cause of the fire is still unknown. Amazingly, nobody was hurt in all of this, but it was a very close call. Firefighters say as concrete began falling from under the bridge, drivers were asked to move back. Not even 2 minutes later, the highway just fell.
Our incident commanders made a good decision to back everybody up, and less than a few minutes later, that bridge collapsed.
Now, Governor Deal just held a press conference a short time ago, and he is asking drivers to be patient when it comes to repairing Interstate 85.
It's going to take some time to get it repaired and get it back in service. So in the meantime, there will be instructions coming forth from the Department of Transportation as to alternate routes, and we will make all of that information available to the public and to the media as soon as it's known to us.
We will continue to follow the latest developments on this fire investigation out of Atlanta. Count on an update on air and online.
And we are also following breaking news in Jacksonville. Wacko's Gentlemen's Club on the south side being raided tonight by authorities. Right now, several JSO units are there on the scene. Multiple agencies are there as well, including also we've seen locksmiths out there. Now, it is not clear what sparked this raid or what exactly police are looking for. We have a crew on the scene. We'll update you as we learn more. Well, a very emotional night in Jacksonville's Panama Park neighborhood. A vigil was held for a beloved teacher who was killed in her home last week. San Jose Elementary School teacher Deborah Lyles found dead last Thursday, and police have not made any arrests in this case. First Coast News' Hani Rodriguez was at the vigil. She joins us now with how the community is coping. Hani?
Hey, Heather and Jessica. If there was one word I could use to describe Deborah Lyles, it would be the word love, and that is what I learned today being at that vigil, surrounded by her family, friends, and even her students, the little ones, who say they will miss her very much.
She'll be missed forever.
A beloved music teacher, mother, grandmother, wife, and friend who will be dearly missed for more reasons than they could say, but certainly for the way she loved others.
The way she loved herself, the way she loved me, the way she loved our kids, the way she loved life.
Including her students at San Jose Elementary School.
And somebody asked her how many kids she had, and she said 943. I mean, that was how she thought.
She was really kind to us. She loved us all.
She played some games with us, see who can make the highest pitch.
Ms. Lyles was one of the best music teachers of the school.
And Mr. Lyles was no stranger to the school either.
I've always been a rock star there because I was Debbie Lyles' boyfriend, and I never corrected that.
Her colleagues say there was nothing not to love about Deborah Lyles.
She talked about her family all the time. She integrated her life experiences into what she taught and into music.
Her absence is deeply felt by many, and the news of her murder has this community still shaken.
It was sad, very sad.
And I'm grateful for the time I had with her, and she's still Debbie to me.
Or Mrs. Lyles to her students.
I loved how every day she'd come in with a smile and teach us happily.
A music teacher who impacted many and was happy to give back.
She would stay after school and teach us music every day, and we were gonna put on a play, but we're gonna do it in memory of her, so.
Very sweet little ones. Her funeral has been set for Saturday, and of course JSO and her family still need your help. If you know anything regarding this case, call in those tips to Crime Stoppers or directly to JSO. For now, in the newsroom, I'm Hani Rodriguez, First Coast News.
3, 2, 1. Liftoff. South
Made in Cape Canaveral this evening. For the first time, SpaceX successfully launched a recycled rocket. The thrill of seeing a rocket launch never gets old, does it? We can see it from here at First Coast News. This move could drastically reduce the cost of traveling to space. First Coast News' Julia Janae traveled to Cape Canaveral and has the latest for us tonight. Julia?
At exactly 6:27 p.m. this evening, a privately owned company launched into history from a place here in Cape Canaveral that makes history all the time.
This was history, you know, the first time they have a reused rocket. So yeah, I had to come out for this. I come out for all the launches, but this one was special.
Thomas Collins, just one of dozens at this Titusville viewing spot, witnessing the takeoff from Launch Complex 39A, a zone SpaceX has leased for the next 20 years.
And the fact that NASA gave them that complex kind of says that NASA has a little faith in them as well.
The parts used for this launch were part of a mission last April that took supplies to the International Space Station. Thursday's launch was SpaceX's fourth this year.
But every so often when we have windy days like this, I wonder, you know, are you guys really going to pull it off? Oh yeah, they did.
Launch Complex 39A, historically the site of the Apollo 11 moon mission of 1969, now making new history.
We have a lot of rocket launches here in Titusville, but when something like this happens, we notice.
The next SpaceX launch is tentatively set for April 16th here at the Kennedy Space Center. Reporting in Titusville, Julia Janae, First Coast News.
Oh, so exciting to watch, Julia. Thank you. And SpaceX currently lists the cost of a launch at $62 million. It is a price that's expected to drop nearly 30% once reusable rockets are flight proven. Now, getting away from expendable rockets has been a long quest. NASA's space shuttle system was partially reusable. The white solid fuel strap-on boosters were recovered after each mission, and their casings were reused. But servicing the shuttle system after every flight took away from any savings. Saving money for commercial is huge. Commercial use is a huge perk. The reusable technology also helps us push one step closer to space tourism. It's something SpaceX has said it hopes to start as early as next year. And Tim Deegan, I know a lot of people here on the First Coast were watching that rocket today launch. You could see it the closer you were to the beach.
Pretty amazing. So, and while we were watching that, so looking southeast from the First Coast out to the west, we've been watching the line of thunderstorms. Now, the good news is after hitting the Panhandle with 50-mile-per-hour winds and very heavy rains, the system is weakening, but we still want the rain from it, right? And just during the last hour or so, we're going to zoom in here, follow the intense colors, and watch this. Just during the last hour, we begin to lose a lot of the deeper colors there, and that's indicating, unfortunately, the heavy rains are beginning to fall apart as well. So the good news is, as we go through the night tonight, I'm not really concerned. In fact, I'm not concerned about widespread wind damage. There could be a few isolated thunderstorms for those of you west and north of Duval overnight tonight through about 8 in the morning. The cluster of showers and thunder showers you're watching over southeastern Georgia, they're now heading across the Savannah River Valley into South Carolina. This is the line we're watching. The only advisories right now are marine advisories down around Apalachicola. And again, one more time, we're going to zoom down. I suspect the heavier storms overnight will remain over the Gulf and then come ashore near about Clearwater and southward. But with what remains of this line, this is where it's going to go for about the next 3 to 4 hours in through the Swanee River Valley and right to about Columbia County on over to Waycross by about 2 to 3 in the morning. And then what's left will hit the coastal counties of the First Coast, the metro area of Jacksonville during the morning rush. But how much will be left? We'll take a close look at that in the weekend weather in just a few moments.
Thank you, Tim. New details tonight. A young woman found dead this morning in northwest Jacksonville has now been identified. Police say that 21-year-old Hannah Midyet was found outside of a home on Harding Avenue. Now, at this point, all we know about her is that she was homeless. The investigation is underway right now. The medical examiner's office and JSO's crime scene unit are continuing to work this case.
The Nassau County Fire Chief will be out of a job next month. The manager's office there tells us an evaluation this afternoon determined the future of the department, and it was determined Matt Graves would no longer be the fire chief starting next month. When we asked if this was related to the recent Briceville fire, the manager's office declined to comment.
We have an update tonight. Deputies in St. Johns County say they have now identified this motorcyclist they were trying to identify. They received a lot of tips after we aired his picture earlier today. Authorities say that this man is a dangerous biker and has fled from law enforcement several times. He has been seen recklessly, they say, speeding near US 1 and State Road 312 westbound. Again, police say they have identified him, but at this point, he has not been arrested.
The man paralyzed from being shot on Florida State University's campus says he plans to sue the university unless it agrees to settle with him for $5 million. You might remember in 2014, a lone gunman opened fire at Stroger's library, injuring several people. Ronnie Ahmed's attorney says with his past and future medical costs, loss of earning capacity, and need for a lifetime caregiver, the lawsuit could easily cost the university $10 million. A letter of intent to sue was sent to FSU's general counsel early this week, but so far, no lawsuit has been filed.
Well, it was a story that had many viewers holding their breath. Up next, more information on why this plane was forced to land today without any working landing gear.
Plus, 3 big changes are coming to a popular Southside movie theater. Why that means less seats, we'll explain.
And the parent low to the producing showers and thunderstorms heading to the northeast. That's why, despite the fact that there's a solid line west of us now, only about 40% of us will have showers. We'll have a closer look.
A bizarre story out of St. Augustine tonight. 2 people facing drug and child neglect charges after what police found in an unusual place inside their home. Officers say Jeremy Wilson and Crystal Kelly were involved in some kind of domestic dispute. Inside the home, police say they found 2 bags of marijuana inside of a baby's diaper box. The 2 adults were arrested. A 5-month-old baby was turned over to a relative.
Tonight, a pilot is being praised for his flying abilities. Earlier today, he successfully landed a plane with no landing gear in Daytona Beach. First Coast News brought you the story live at 5:30, and we know a lot of you are watching. For more than an hour, the pilot flew around the Daytona International Speedway trying to burn fuel before coming in for a landing at the airport. Once it finally landed on its belly, 2 people on board made a run for it. Fortunately, nobody hurt in this incident.
That was amazing. Wow. Well, new tonight, Jacksonville University is paying tribute to Purple Heart veterans, and they will be dedicating 2 parking spaces for them on campus. This is what the sign will look like. Local Purple Heart chapter veterans and Purple Heart student veterans will speak at a ceremony this Monday. One of the speakers will be JU student Sean Karpf. Part of his left leg had to be amputated after an IED explosion in Afghanistan. He also suffered a traumatic brain injury. He received the Purple Heart in 2013.
New information about the murder and child porn case gripping the First Coast. Not only is Ron Hyde being represented by a high-profile attorney, he's also pleading not guilty. Ann Fennell served on the Casey Anthony defense team in 2011. Hyde is charged with the 1994 murder of 16-year-old Fred Laster. Prosecutors have also added several child pornography charges in his case. Fennell tells us Ron Hyde is, quote, steadfastly maintaining his innocence.
Well, you will soon be able to lean back and enjoy an adult beverage at One First Coast Movie Theater. Tinseltown Theater is adding reclining seats, beer, and wine. It's a growing trend in movie theaters. All of the seats will be torn out and replaced with electric recliners. The new larger seats mean that the theater will be able to seat 45% fewer people. The Cinemark theater chain has installed these recliners at about 60 of its 340 theaters. The chain says it found out that the newer seats end up selling more tickets.
Interesting, isn't that? Okay. Well, it seems like we've been doing a lot of these stories lately. A Florida Lottery Fantasy 5 ticket worth $53,000 sold in St. Augustine Beach yesterday. The ticket was sold at the Circle K on A1A. I'm trying to figure out which one that is. Get your tickets ready. Those winning numbers were 3, 10, 19, 20, and 25.
Well, making headlines across the nation, McDonald's now choosing to do something different. It is saying goodbye to frozen beef and hello to fresh beef. The fast food giant says it will swap frozen beef patties for fresh ones in its quarter-pounder burgers by sometime next year at most of its U.S. locations. This is a big change for McDonald's, which has relied on frozen beef for more than 4 decades. Meanwhile, listen to this. Wendy's chiming in on this on Twitter, tweeting, so you still use frozen beef in most burgers in all your restaurants? Asking for a friend. All right.
Okay. Here's a fun story. The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp are asking you to help name their new second mascot. Now, before you get worried, Southpaw, the old mascot from the Jacksonville Suns, he's sticking around. But this is another mascot that needs a name. The choices are Gumbo, Grits, Mayport, or Sunny. You can vote on firstcoastnews.com. The winner will be presented at the Jumbo Shrimp's season opener April 12th. And if you haven't already, it's not too late to buy tickets for that very first game. Tickets start at $5 a piece. And that game again, Wednesday, April 12th at 7:05. All right, we've been seeing gator sightings at golf courses all over the state.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Well, how about this one? It's one of a gator in a furniture store.
Oh my goodness, you got to see this. So this gator first spotted underneath this car right here, a car with, of course, a Florida Gator sticker on the window.
Oh, you got to love that.
Yeah, I think it felt like home. Well, look at this. Sheriff deputies got there. They planned to drop the gator into the nearest body of water, and the shortest route was right through that furniture store. So customers were in there shopping. They were cleared out of the store. Deputies, as you saw, dragging this poor gator through the aisles alongside the sofas and the recliners. He didn't have time to relax, though. He made his way out, much to the delight of employees. That gator then released right there into the water behind the store. And I do have to say, as we've been seeing a lot of these gators in the past couple of weeks, that one's very, very small compared to the
these giants roaming the golf courses.
Ones. Yeah, that look like dinosaurs. So that one was
back in the water.
I hope he's okay.
Back in the water.
A happy gator.
I think he is.
Hi, Tim. It's almost the weekend.
It is almost the weekend, so we're all happy. I'll be happy if at least some of us receive some rain. And really,
we need it.
I'd say about 15% of us have had rain so far. About another 25% should tonight and tomorrow, and that adds up to about 40%. Even though we see a solid line of rain out to the west. So with that bit of a sigh, let's take a look at how it should work out as we go through the night tonight. For those of you around Waycross, Alma, Blackshear, Nahunta, look for the best chance of showers and thunderstorms overnight, ending by sunrise. For Glenn and Camden counties, any shower activity should end by 8. For those of you around Columbia, Clinch County, any shower and storms, and there will be some isolated storms out there, they will end before sunrise. You get down near Southern Clay, Putnam, Southern St. Johns County, and Flagler County, might be a few showers lingering until about 2. Won't last all morning long. It's just if you're wondering, okay, there's a few showers coming through, when will they end? 11 o'clock around Baker, Union, and Bradford, as late as 2 o'clock for those of you around Putnam, Southern Clay, St. John's, and Flagler. Amelia to beautiful Fernandina by about noon. And so overall, that's why I'm saying look for a warm morning. Isolated storms west and north of Duval overnight. By the time we're heading back to work and school in the morning, pretty much just scattered showers left around, and they should clear all of the first coast by 2. That's why I'm saying that for many of us late tomorrow afternoon, and even at the beaches late in the afternoon, we're going to heat up. How about highs of 88 degrees with a strong land breeze? That is from the west and the southwest. It'll be less windy over the weekend, so maybe you anglers want to head out. We've heard from the captains that the, quote, big and uglies, unquote, are out there. That is the big black drum. All right, with all of that said, whatever your plans are on Saturday, again, sure, we could use some rain. Otherwise, going to be a nice day. Milder, lows in the 50s, highs back up in the 80s, but that does mean with the lower dew points, Saturday afternoon we're going to have low relative humidity levels, the air about as dry as it was about 9-10 days ago for the Briceville fire. So please, of course, use caution, but especially Saturday afternoon. Sunday we'll begin to see more of an ocean breeze. That is a wind from the east toward the west, toward the next weather system that promises more in the way of rainfall. When I say more, I mean more than the event that we're experiencing overnight, tonight, and tomorrow, although this could be a stormy event. It's early next week. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
One, two, three, 4, 5. What's up, Andrew?
Oh, I thought we were going to have a meeting. What?
From the Farrah and Farrah Sports Desk, it's First Coast Sports.
Hello, everybody. The final tune-up for the Masters sends the tour to Humble, Texas for the Shell Houston Open. This is the last chance for players not in the Masters to earn an invite, but they have to do so by winning it. Everyone is chasing former Players champion Ricky Fowler. Here's Ricky on his final hole of the day from 230 yards out, and watch him. Bloop is going to slide just past the pin for what would have been a hole-in-one. Ricky finished the day at 8 under par and has a one-shot lead heading into tomorrow's second round. We're now only 2 days away from the men's Final Four tipping off in Phoenix, and the Associated Press named Gonzaga's Mark Few its Coach of the Year. Few led Gonzaga to a 31-6 record. Few has taken the Zags to the NCAA tournament in all of his 18 seasons out there in the West. He was a runaway winner. Few is the first WCC coach to win the award since 1977. Meanwhile, here's the Zags talking about Saturday's Final Four matchup against this year's Cinderella, South Carolina.
I feel like we have a mature team. I saw some on Sports Center, like we are older than Phoenix or something like that. I saw that on Sports Center, but I mean, it just goes to tell you that we all kind of old, we all really matured.
Never once have we ever spoken about, well, this opponent is this or that guy's real good. We speak about what we have to do to win. That's what we talk about every single day. And I said, don't be the guy that doesn't do their job to prevent us from having an opportunity of staying here until Monday night.
UNF basketball guard Garrett Sams is transferring to the University of Tennessee Martin, which is located in his hometown. Sams was a big contributor to the Ospreys' late postseason push in the Atlantic Sun Conference tournament. Garrett averaged 10 points per game. Former Gators assistant coach Anthony Grant will take over the Flyers, the Dayton Flyers that is, after spending the last 2 seasons as an assistant coach for the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Miami native served for 10 years as an assistant to Billy Donovan at the University of Florida. He was also a head coach at Alabama. Jacksonville Giants are moving on to the ABA Final Four after a 139-137 come-from-behind win over the Baltimore Hawks. Player of the game, Maurice Mickens, had 35 points. The Giants will be back in action Saturday. Former Gator and current Minnesota Vikings defensive tackle Chari Floyd's career is in jeopardy due to complications from knee surgery he underwent last fall. Floyd was the 23rd overall pick in the 2013 NFL Draft. How about a pro football team based solely on the fans, the coach, the roster, the team, the name, and the logo picked by the fan? Vote. The Salt Lake Screaming Eagles of the Indoor Football League do just that, and today fans opted not to add former NFL Pro Bowl defensive end Greg Hardy. Voting closed earlier this morning. In addition to stories of misbehavior on the field and in the facility while with the Dallas Cowboys, Hardy's domestic assault history and 2016 arrest for cocaine possession all virtually guaranteed he will never play in the NFL again. Hashtag Team Sideline. The score is going to say it all. The Jackson Roller Girls, as they always seem to do, they got it done against Orlando. Ladies, thank you so much for posting this photo on Instagram using the hashtag Team Sideline. Your Fantasy 5 winning numbers after this timeout.